From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
Showtime.
Oh, here we go. Season 3 is finally here. Just you, me, and my little buddy.
You wicked, wicked man.
Demented and sad after all these years. Hey, you ready for another action-packed adventure? Sure as hell hope so, because I'm going in head first. Here's what's on tap on the Wrap. How are men feeling about marriage today? Wait until you get a load of this. We've got something too juicy for Celebrity Cheese to tell you about. California slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom strikes again. Democratic dipshittery is still alive and well. And in sports, the championship rounds are finally here, and I have a solution for the 9-50 Colorado Rockies. Another round of head trauma is on the way. The new movie mash is straight ahead. Plus our usual loose behavior. Saw it on the X, Celebrity Cheese, your email from our Gmail. One more thing, and we've got shout-outs to Rat Nation and the Resistance. Now, the body count for Rat Nation stands at 327, but we've got to get to 1,000 before we start dishing out the cash and prizes, folks. Go to ratsasspodcast.com and become one of the few and the loud. Now, the last time we spoke, I was just coming out of my COVID state of mind, and I'm happy to report I'm not dead yet, as far as you know. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what's going to be different with Season 3 as opposed to Seasons 1 and 2? Well, I will tell you to prepare yourself for even more lunacy and loose behavior. And that's all I've got to say about that. For now, on the Rat's Ass Podcast blog, check this out. This is going to be fun. We just kicked off Radio Wars March Madness Survive and Advance Playoffs. We're looking for the best classic rock station in America. You can check it out at ratsasspodcast.com on the blog. Today, battling it out. WAXQ in New York versus WODE in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's market number 1 versus market number 75. And what we do, we basically take an hour of music from each radio station, same hour, on the same day, put them side by side and compare them. And the best hour of music wins and moves on. That's how it's done. So check it out at ratsasspodcast.com on the blog. Now, this study on men and marriage caught my eye, and it's not really good news here, folks. Not for a country that's looking for more babies to be born, anyway. At least, maybe you'll get them out of wedlock. But a new poll shows 44% of men ages 21 to 44 have a favorable view on marriage. 44% said they have an unfavorable view of marriage, and 12% were still on the fence. Now, let's compare this to 10 years ago. 64% of men had a favorable view on marriage. Only 27% had an unfavorable view of marriage, while only 9% were on the fence. That's a decade ago. Now, the top 3 reasons why 44% of men now have an unfavorable view in marriage, and this is where we get into it. At number 3, men don't feel women come into the relationship today offering an equal or greater value or even the potential to match the man's energy and income. That's what? They want equality. Women have been fighting for equality, so men want that equality now. Number 2, body count is unknown or too high. Basically, ladies, men, they don't want to feel like they have to strap a board to their ass so they don't fall in. That's what that means. And number 1, unrealistic expectations. There is a perception out there that women want a man with a 6-figure salary, $1 million home, a $100,000 car, and men ask, what do we get in return? And the feeling is, they feel like they're just getting a used model. So the theme running through all of this, ladies, is keep your lips shut, both of them. Now, the most interesting stat in this study said 96% of the 44% who have an unfavorable view of marriage said the law favors women way too much. So if this country wants more babies to be born within wedlock, maybe they ought to check out how the legal system works out. Now, this story is too juicy to save for Celebrity Cheese. I couldn't do it. Now, you've probably heard about Dr. Squatch, releasing a limited edition bath soap with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater called Sydney's Bathwater Bliss. Now, who in the hell is buying this crap for $8? Don't you have something else you can spend $8 on? I mean, you're basically washing with her filth. Well, she showers first, but who showers before they bathe? I don't know. I haven't showered since I was a senior in high school. When I moved out, when I was a senior, left home, I never took a bath again, man. I'm a shower guy, 100% of the way. So I'm asking, why is she bathing? I mean, essentially, you're sitting in her filth if she doesn't shower first, right? Now, I think Sweeney thinks because she has big knockers, men and women want to lather up with her filthy bathwater bliss. I don't think so. But look, hey, I think it's a great publicity stunt. But if you're really buying this stuff, I'm quite sure we can get Tom Cruise to do a toilet water cologne made just for you. We'll call it Tom's Risky Business. Would you buy it? All right, California slumlord Governor Gavin Newsom just spent $23 million taxpayer dollars creating a weather app. So Californians can find out what the temperature is to let them know if it's going to be hot or not in their area. I mean, forget the fact there are numerous other weather apps that do the same thing. He felt like he needed one specific for California. Now, this is another waste of taxpayer money that I'm sure went to somebody that the governor knows who will kick him back a few million. I mean, keep in mind, he's got that $9 million house he's got to pay for, right? Probably wants it paid off by 2028. But also keep in mind, this numbnut wants to be president in 2028. But I do have faith in the voters who said hell no to Kamala Harris, and they'll do the same thing to Gavin Newsom. And it's only Monday, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and award Newsom this week's Rat's Ass Podcast Dumbass Award, making him a 3-time winner this year so far. He's the only one to win it multiple times. So we're going to give it to him this week because I really don't think anybody else is going to waste $23 million on a weather app. All right, so far the story about who's running the White House or who was running the White House while Democrats were propping up Joe Biden's mental state has not gone away. I'm quite surprised. When we talked, May 23rd, I thought this story would be dead by now. So far, the left-handed media is playing it stupid and trying to cover their ass, and the right-handed media is going, I told you so. That's the routine that's going on right now. Now, an investigation is supposedly still underway, and so far we're getting nothing but speculation surrounding mainly Jill and Hunter Biden. Now, here's my question to you, though, in all of this. How many investigations have we had over the past decade? Let's just take the last 10 years that resulted in anybody being held accountable. Let's look at the biggest ones. There were 2 involving Hillary Rodham Clinton. There was Benghazi and her emails. No accountability. The Hunter Biden laptop, Russia story, all of that. Nothing came from the investigations. The Epstein file, still waiting. All resulting, no convictions. What's that tell you? Personally, I have no confidence we're ever going to find out who the unelected Democrats were who played president for 4 years, which means no one will be held accountable. To me, it's all a con job to keep we the people divided. And if I'm wrong, I'll cut off my dong and move to Ireland. All right, let me also point out one more thing while I'm on a roll about the Democrats. They continue to scream about the Trump tax cuts and the big, beautiful bill. There are no more tax cuts. They're extending the 2017 tax cuts, and that's it. This nonsense about Republicans making all these cuts to benefit their rich friends is all BS. Again, all designed to divide everybody. Keep in mind, these are the same rich people who donated more money to Kamala Harris than Trump during last year's presidential campaign. The same rich people the Democrats bow, kiss their ass, swallow their goo, and act like they don't. There isn't one Democrat whose breath doesn't smell like they've just smoked a George Soros turd right now. On Friday's episode of The Five with Greg Gutfeld on Fox, I thought Greg went off on the Democrats, and it was a thing of beauty. I mean, he really summed it up well. Check this out.
I want to go back to the front part of this segment where these Democrats were pushing the bad things that happened because of Doge, that there were crimes committed. Okay, let's compare their predictions to the other side's predictions. We sat here and predicted the border crisis. They didn't. They mocked us. We predicted the trans issue. We knew this was going to be a big deal. They didn't. They called us transphobic. We knew that there was going to be a Ferguson effect after George Floyd. They said, no, crime was getting better. They were wrong. Joe Biden's unwellness, Kamala's incompetence. We were the ones that when we made predictions, because of our filter, were correct. Compare that to the other side. Nothing that they predict, which is always existential, apocryphal, delusional, never happens, right? What did they say? Threat to democracy. The planet's going to end. The laptop is fake. Russians are behind this. None of that panned out. And now what they're saying about Doge, they're saying, oh, my God, people are going to starve.
100% spot on. 100% spot on. Then he called out the Democrats for their hateful treatment of Elon Musk.
You know what's funny? This guy is doing nothing but service. He's getting nothing out of this. That used to be a Democrat. That used to be a public servant. And now a guy who creates Neuralink, creates an internet process for the poor, electric cars, robots, rockets that save astronauts. He's a public servant who's also the richest man. And you guys don't like him. He's exactly what a Democrat used to be, a public servant. But now, you only serve yourselves. You're like, what can I get out of this? And if we use identity politics, we can get everybody to declare what they want from somebody else. It becomes an attack over a finite pie when he just wants to expand it.
Of course, after hearing Greg's rant, we know what the Democrats were thinking.
This is such a crock of shit.
Oh boy, a third season of this crap. Here's Mojo Elliott with Rat Sports.
Oh, come on, Alexa. What do you have against sports?
I don't give a rat's hairy bunghole.
All right, and take a seat then. All right, the Colorado Rockies are 9-50 this season. That's right, 9-50. They're the first team in Major League Baseball history to lose 50 games before winning 10 games. I think it's time for Rob Manfred, the Commissioner of Baseball, to step in and force the sale of the team. What do you think? Now, the Rockies have a beautiful ballpark. I've been to Denver several times and watched games. Pretty much every time the Reds were in Denver and I was in town, I was parked at the ballpark there. Beautiful, beautiful ballpark. The fans of Denver deserve better than a major league team masquerading around as a minor league team, or vice versa. The NBA and NHL finals are all set. In the NBA, it's Oklahoma City and Indiana. I think it's going to be a good competitive series. Only the fans of Oklahoma City and Indiana care about. I know I certainly don't give a rat's ass. I just want to see the box score every game. But I kind of want to see how the ratings turn out on this one compared to previous years, because there's all this debate about big market teams. Should be the Lakers and Celtics in the finals versus, like this, Oklahoma City and Indiana. So we'll compare those ratings and see how they shake out. Now, I've got Oklahoma City to win it all. Game 1 is on Thursday. In the NHL, either the Florida Panthers or the Edmonton Oilers will hoist Lord Stanley's Cup in a few days. Again, this is going to be a good competitive series. Two evenly matched teams going at it. But I think the way Edmonton went through the West, I kind of like the Oilers to win it all. Plus, Canada's due. They haven't won a Stanley since '93 when Montreal did it. Game 1 is on Wednesday. The countdown to the NBA draft and free agency is on. The draft is on June 25th. Free agency begins on June 30th. All the player options have to be either declined or picked up by June 29th, before the free agency begins on June 30th. NBA insiders say this is going to be one hell of a crazy-ass offseason. Lots of rumors will be created by the outsiders pretending to be insiders, and I'll tell you what, I'll be your smack dab in the middle of that fray because being an armchair quarterback is part of the fun. To give you an example, I was scanning through Facebook, thirsting for knowledge for today, and I found this one post saying that the Denver Nuggets were interested in the Lakers' Dalton Connect. This isn't happening, folks. Sure, it helps Denver, but the Nuggets don't have any players the Lakers need outside of Nikola Jokic. That's it, and that's not happening. So you can always tell these trade options are all BS when the trade benefits one team and not the other. The general manager who makes the trade that doesn't benefit his team is probably going to get fired. All right, let's see how I'm doing with my playoff predictions here. I'm 17-11 picking winners this playoff season, NBA and NHL. I'm embarrassed. It's not my best work. But you can see all of my playoff picks now on the Rat's Ass Podcast blog at ratsasspodcast.com. All right, there you have it. That's sports on the Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, today we're going to play a new Movie Mash game. We debuted it during the Wild Hair episodes in May. But should you accept this challenge, I'm going to play 3 movie clips from 3 different movies, and you have to guess all 3 movies. Oh, it's a challenge, all right, but I think you're going to have fun with this one. Listen close.
Will you remove your helmet and tell me your name?
I don't want to be your buddy, Rick. I just want a little breakfast.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries.
All right, listen real close again.
Will you remove your helmet and tell me your name?
I don't want to be your buddy, Rick. I just want a little breakfast.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries.
All right, do you think you have it? We'll have the answer for you coming straight ahead.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it. I know you've missed this feature. We didn't do it at all in May. All right, here's what's happening on the Rat's Ass Podcast X feed. We call it Saw It on the X. The movie boss posted this one. It said, name a movie that should never be remade. So I tallied up the votes, and here are the top 5. Number 5, Forrest Gump. No way you should ever attempt to remake that. I agree. Tombstone, I think they tried with Wyatt Earp, and they came out roughly the same time. And if you look at the box office, Tombstone blew it away. But how do you top Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday? I just don't see it happening. Number 3, Goodfellas. I would even throw Casino in with that. 2 good gangsta movies. Mob movies. Back to the Future was number 2. And number 1, The Godfather. And I agree with all of those. You can't remake those movies. But my number 1, of course, is always going to be Animal House. It's comedy gold, set the standard for all rom-coms. An attempt to remake it would be absolutely 100% sacrilegious.
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
Miley Cyrus is threatening to leave the United States of America, thanks to Donald Trump being in the White House. Yeah, Miley joins a long list of celebrities making threats like this. I think we could tally them up, but we just would have not enough time to do so. Now, I think we can all agree celebrities do this to get attention. It's an easy slam dunk. Call TMZ, hey, I'm leaving America. They'll print it. They'll post it. But what I have to say to Miley is this. You live in Malibu, California. Sweetheart, you've already left the United States. All right, ex-Beatle Paul McCartney and Aerosmith Steven Tyler ran into each other in New York over the weekend. When they saw each other, McCartney said, hey, you know what? You look just like Steven Tyler. And Tyler replied, you look just like Paul McCartney. And they went their separate ways thinking they just saw a couple doppelgangers. Boy, there's a mouthful, doppelgangers. But I guess dementia can be humorous. I just demonstrated that for you. Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez were seen out together having, again, New York City, the happening place. They were having a fancy dinner together in New York. No doubt, hatching a scheme to get Selena back together with Justin Bieber. See how easy it is to start a rumor? Remember one-hit wonder 50 Cent? He's coming to Sean Diddy, yes he did, Combs' defense, saying if he gets convicted, he'll speak to President Trump about a pardon for Combs. Now, we know a little kissing ass of President Trump will go a long way, but I'm thinking, in this case, 50 Cent's going to have to do a little bit more, like a little bit of analingus. Going to have to walk up to the president and say, drop them pants, baby. I want a pardon for 50 Cent. Hey, in case you missed it, Britney Spears has now been single for 130 days.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
Well, as you know, I do not read your email in advance. Fleabag forwards me your name, where you're from, and edits them so I can read them rapid fire and on the fly. All right, Todd B. in Waco, Texas said, you posted on X about a radio promotion you did called The Late Night Panty Raid. I need details. Oh, it was one of my favorite promotions we did. You know, back when the thong song was very popular, we decided that we would go out and buy a bunch of thongs and put our station logo on the front. And women went absolutely nuts with them. And we would hand them out at events. And then we'd go out to nightclubs on Friday and Saturday night. And the first 5 women who would come up on stage and show us that they were wearing the thong got $100. And we'd go out to 3-4 nightclubs on Friday and Saturday night and dish out the dollars. And every once in a while, there'd be one girl who would try to go to all the places. She would follow the station van and try to run inside before we got inside and jump on stage and try to win more money that way. So we had to create a rule that you could only win once. But that's how it was done. That was called the Late Night Panty Raid. Daphne D., Shawnee, Oklahoma, said, congrats on joining the COVID Club. I've had it 3 times. Oh, my God. God bless you for surviving this stuff. Here's my dilemma. I'm married, but I'm not happy. I ran into an ex from college last week, and I expect he'll call me to have lunch. Is going to lunch okay when you're not happy? God. You know, Daphne, happy or not doesn't enter into this. Just know if you go to lunch with an ex, there's a good chance it will escalate into a little who's your daddy action, and you'll end up with 2 exes. Maybe that's what you want, to sabotage your marriage when you have no chance after getting caught. Be careful. Think about it. Gregory H. Hammond, Louisiana, said, I have 2 questions. Do you play golf, and have you ever spent time in jail? No, I don't play golf. I've played golf, but I don't play golf. I mean, golf is a game like croquet. I like sports. I like basketball, baseball, football, and hockey because there is action going on. Golf, hell, I could say, what the hell's the difference between playing golf and going to jail? But so far, no, I've never done time in jail. So far, my rump has been an exit, not an entrance, and I plan on keeping it that way. All right, Laura S., Valencia, California, said, my boyfriend wants me to give his manhood a nickname. I think it's stupid, so how do I determine this? This is all about ego, Laura, okay? So just make sure it strokes his ego a little bit, so make it sound ginormous. True or not, try the Punisher. So, oh, God, hurt me, Punisher. Oh, you're such a Punisher. And I'll tell you what, you'll get his best effort the next time you two do the dirty deed. But try the Punisher. See if that works. All right, Max T., Waterton, New York, said, you said the Telecommunications Act began the downfall of radio. Can you explain this? Yeah, sure. In 1996, Bill Clinton signed the Telecommunications Act, which, prior to that, an owner of radio stations could only own one AM, one FM station in a market, then maybe a TV station. When he signed the Telecommunications Act, it opened the door for one owner to own as many radio stations as they could buy in a market as long as the revenue didn't top 50%. It didn't matter 5 years from later if you had 90% of the market value. It didn't matter. At the time of the sale, you could buy 6, 7 radio stations and own them all. And this resulted in thousands of people getting fired because most owners would take the 2 top-rated radio stations, invest into those, fire everybody else, and that's where you got radio today. It is an unlistable product with a lot of people voice tracking, meaning somebody could be in Watertown, New York, voice tracking a radio station, recording the show in advance in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, 50 markets if they wanted to. And you're getting the same show. That's why it all sounds very, very generic. Now AI is stepping in to take over on a lot of these radio stations. But yeah, thanks to slick Bill Clinton, he ruined thousands and thousands and thousands of radio careers, and most of the people who got fired were the ones who made the most money, too. That was the shame of it all. But IVK, Hobart, Australia. I recently met a guy from California here on business, and he asked to contact him on WhatsApp. He seemed nice. Should I pursue it? Sure, why not? There are 7,000 plus miles between you. Throw caution to the wind, Ivy. You never know where it's going to lead. Not knowing and finding out is part of the fun. That's what you call living life. All right, Logan H., Quebec City, Canada, said, you seem to be pretty good about handling office politics. Got you fooled, huh? How would you deal with a coworker that likes to drop by your office and waste time? I give them 1 or 2 minutes. Be kind, be nice. Hey, Fred, how you doing? Sit down. Let's talk a little bit. Give them 1 or 2 minutes. Then you always have a file that you grab. Okay, there doesn't have to be anything in it, maybe a piece of paper or two. Just get up and say, hey, I've got to get this down to so-and-so right now. And you just walk out of your office, and they follow you out, unbeknownst that you're trying to get rid of them. Just go away for a minute or two and come back. You do this a few times, and they'll get the message that you're a busy person and will think nothing of it. And they'll still think highly of you because of that. Wow, man, he really works hard. I go in to bug him, and he's always busy. It's kind of like that Costanza episode in Seinfeld where he will always say, if you just look frustrated, you look busy. Something like that. All right, if you have any questions or comments, please send them to me and my producer, Fleabag, at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. The more outrageous and salacious, the better. We look forward to hearing from you here on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, we are playing Movie Mash. It's a new game we're introducing for Season 3. This is where I hit you with 3 movie clips from 3 different films, and you got to guess what movies they're from. Listen close.
Will you remove your helmet and tell me your name?
I don't want to be your buddy, Rick. I just want a little breakfast.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries.
All right. If you said Gladiator, Falling Down, and Whiplash.
Yeah, baby.
But if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. All right, I got to go because I'm working as a crash test dummy today just for the fun of it. But I do have one more thing for you. Did you know Snapchat was originally called Peekaboo? And it, too, was designed so people could share nude photos. They also came up with the names Tata Trader and Dickadoodle-Doo before choosing Snapchat. I think they chose wisely on that one. Now, believe it or not, I worked on a photo share app once that allowed people to share photos of people's butts. We were going to call it Poop Shoot. But it was just kind of a Crappy idea.
My God, you gotta be the weirdest man I've never seen naked. Please just do your shout-outs to Rat Nation.
Oh, come on, Alexa. You know you've thought about me when you're pleasuring yourself with your jackhammer.
No, I have not jackhammered myself to you as far as you know.
Yeah, as far as I know. All right, welcome to Rat Nation. Anthony Stevens, Gallup, New Mexico. Mike Guzman of Mesa, Arizona. Bert Headley, Charleston, South Carolina. And to the Resistance, those who email us and never join Rat Nation. Why? But eventually, I'm telling you, you will. Once you find out all the fun we're going to be doing with cash and prizes, oh, you'll sign up. April A., Long Beach, California. Theo G. from Corpus Christi, Texas. And Jared H. from Byesville, Ohio. And all around the world, listening in Canada, the UK, Sweden, Germany, Ireland, and anybody else who listens to the Rat Ass podcast. We thank you for, I guess, downloading and listening. Thank you very much for that.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
All right, that's it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Be sure to check out the new ratsasspodcast.com to connect with us on the socials, listen to podcasts, join Rat Nation, read the blog. It's loaded with current events, pop culture, music, concert tour info, the radio wars, sports, our Q&A, Battle of the Sexes, plus the Dumbass Awards for 2025 so far. We'll do this again on Wednesday, June 4th. Take care of each other, and thanks again for dropping by. The Wrap.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.